This is the all-new VW ID.2, a potentially game-changing cheap electric car. And in this video, we're running through the 10 things you need to know about it. Before we dive into all the details, make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more reveals and reviews, and head to whatcar.com for a great deal on your next car. Volkswagen's electric evolution has had a slightly mixed beginning to life. The ID.3 was a very promising start for the German brand, offering a compelling pure electric family car package. But a poor quality interior and terrible software issues led to frustration from customers and reportedly a change in the company's CEO. The ID.4 and ID.5 followed and both suffered from similar problems, while being even more expensive than the ID.3 and therefore facing more of an uphill task against similarly priced rivals, of which many were better. But the fantastic ID Buzz felt like a real step forwards, and VW recently unveiled a revamped ID.3 with the aim of addressing these issues and starting a turnaround in the critical reception of VW's ID-badged electric cars. And now we have the ID.2, the full name of which is technically the ID.2 All. And without wishing to dampen any enthusiasm for it, it is officially a concept car, rather than a fully production-ready vehicle. But this is said to closely preview a new electric car which will cost less than £22,000. It's built on a shortened version of the ID.3's underpinnings and is similar in size to the VW Polo. VW's new design boss, who moved over from Bentley earlier this year, apparently designed this car with his team in just 6 weeks. The sleek ID.2 features hidden rear door handles behind the rear window, as well as a thin LED light bar at the front and rear of the car. And the rear badge is illuminated red to blend in with the taillights. While the ID.3 felt like quite a departure from typical VW styling, the ID.2 looks like a return to a more traditional VW look. Indeed, the manufacturer itself said the ID.2 is in part an homage to the Beetle, Golf and the Polo. Which car do you think looks better, the ID.3 or the ID.2? Tell us in the comments below. New VW interiors have faced a lot of criticism, but the ID.2 seems to show an acknowledgement of those flaws and an attempt to improve things. The 12.9-inch infotainment screen has been designed from the ground up, with simpler menus and graphics. There's a traditional volume control and an air conditioning control panel which features illuminated buttons, all of which already looks like a huge step forwards from the terrible slider controls fitted to other VWs. Plus, the incredibly fiddly haptic steering wheel controls seen on other models have been replaced by scroll dials and 2 buttons. Perhaps the most surprising and pleasing feature of all inside is the rotary dial on the center console. It's said to help navigate through and control features on the infotainment screen, and it can change the layout of the driver display as well. It will surely be a vast improvement in terms of usability compared to a pure touchscreen system. The 10.9-inch digital driver display is also new, and unlike the other ID models, it is no longer mounted onto the steering column itself, but on the dashboard next to the infotainment screen. The ID.2 is 4,050mm long, which is slightly shorter than the current Polo, but the 2,600mm wheelbase is significantly longer. So this means that while it might not take up much room on the road, this 5-seat small electric car promises to be surprisingly spacious inside. After all, by small car standards, the Polo is pretty spacious in the rear seats, so the ID.2 should be even better. Plus, it has a flat floor throughout. There's a storage compartment under the rear seats, which has a capacity of around 50 litres and should be big enough for the charging cables and some small bags. The boot itself has an impressive 440 litres of capacity, which is even bigger than the ID.3. Flattening the rear seats increases the space to 1,330 litres. But the rear seats only split fold 60-40. You can't fold the 3 rear seats down individually. On top of all this, the ID.2 also has an extra luggage compartment under the boot floor, which looks like it can fit 2 crates of beer. The underpinnings which the ID.2 is built on can accept 2 battery sizes, 38 kWh and 56 kWh. The maximum claimed range from the bigger battery is around 280 miles. But 280 miles seems pretty good compared to its rivals. Of course, remember that no electric car is able to achieve this WLTP number in genuine real-world driving conditions. If you want to see what electric cars can really do on a full charge, click on the link to watch our in-depth range test. A maximum charging speed of 125 kilowatts means if you can find a fast enough charger, the ID.2's battery will be able to get from 10 to 80% in 20 minutes. In terms of performance, the ID.2 gets one electric motor driving the front wheels. This is different from the ID.3, which has an electric motor driving the rear wheels. Apparently, the decision to switch the layout was to help increase boot space. The motor the ID.2 gets has 223 brake horsepower and is expected to cover a swift 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint in less than 7 seconds, with a top speed of 99 miles an hour. But perhaps the most astonishing number of all with the ID.2 is the price. Volkswagen is anticipating this to be priced below €25,000, which is around £22,000, and would make it the cheapest new electric car of its kind. The huge rival at this entry-level price point is the MG4, which starts around £27,000. But aside from the MG4, which other electric cars would the ID.2 be up against? Well, there is sure to be a crop of new rivals by the time this car hits the road. But right now, it would be rivaling other small electric cars like the Honda E, Fiat 500 and Mini Electric, but they are even smaller than the ID.2 and much more expensive. So it would also be facing bigger EVs like the Peugeot E208 and the Cupra Born. But even then, the ID.2 looks set to be comfortably cheaper than every single one of those rivals and just as practical. Lots of things seem very promising with the ID.2, but the bad news is that this is still technically a concept car. The production version won't be seen before 2025 and it won't go on sale until 2026. So by then, lots of things could change. If the pricing is wildly different from what we've seen from the concept, then that will be a real disappointment and could totally alter the appeal of the ID.2. But hopefully that won't be the case. The ID.2 will be joined by closely related electric models from Cupra, Seat and Skoda. And the car will be one of 10 EVs that Volkswagen will launch by 2026. This includes the facelifted ID.3, the long wheelbase ID Buzz and the ID.7 Saloon. And there's also thought to be a small SUV based on the same platform as the ID.2. But VW has suggested there will be another incredibly priced electric car, claiming that an even smaller ID.1 could be on the cards for 2026 with a price of around £17,000. Admittedly, that's still a lot of money, but in the electric car market, that would undercut every other competitor by an astonishing amount. So that's everything you need to know about the ID.2. Make sure you subscribe to our channel to see more reveals and reviews, and head to whatcar.com for a great deal on your next car. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.